after this.
Adam Yenser.
Thank you guys for that great intro. He said the next comic is my roommate with more enthusiasm than the next comic was on Conan. I do work for Ellen and I stole this outfit from her tonight. I feel like this is what a rich lesbian would wear. I was driving here tonight, I saw a pro-life bumper sticker. It said, "Babies get hiccups even before they're born." Which is true, and I do not support abortion. But I bet a visit to the clinic would scare those hiccups away. I like that one because it's a pro-life joke that offends pro-life people. Alienates everybody. But I am pretty conservative and religious though. Like, I know a lot of people don't believe in God anymore, but I hear stories like all the time that reaffirm my faith in God. Like, I heard about this bus driver who got mugged and they shot him, but his life was saved because the bullets were stopped by a Bible in his pocket. I mean, can you believe that? That is a miracle. That God blessed that man with ridiculous Bible-sized pockets. I don't even know where you'd get a shirt like that. I have done stand-up for more conservative crowds before. I did a show once in Anchorage, Alaska, which is a beautiful city, but they're like a lot more conservative than most big cities. Like, for instance, like most big cities have gay neighborhoods. Like here in Los Angeles, we have an area called West Hollywood. In New York, they have an area called Chelsea. Chicago has Boys Town. San Francisco has San Francisco. But Anchorage isn't like that. Like, the gay area of Anchorage is just called Steve's house. Steve is saving up to move to San Francisco. When I'm traveling, I try to travel cheap, so I stay at Motel 6 a lot. Do you guys ever stay at Motel 6? Like, it's not bad, but some nights I'm in the mood for something a little cleaner and classier, and I'll just sleep in the car. I love traveling, but there are some trips that I would not take. Like, have you guys heard of the Mars One Project?
Yeah.
You know what that is, a few of you. If you haven't heard of this, this is real. The Mars One Project is there's a private company who wants to send people to Mars, and anyone is allowed to sign up for it. And their plan is they're going to narrow it down to like 4 people, put them on a spaceship the size of a van, and send it to Mars. And because it's so far away, it's going to take them over a year of traveling through space before they get there. And then they're just going to land on the planet and stay there until they die. Like, they're never coming back. And they've already gotten 100,000 people who have signed up that want to do this. Which sounds crazy to me. Like, I couldn't stand a 2-year trip to Mars. I can't even stand 30 seconds to Mars. Some of you like that, and some of you are wondering if that's the only punchline to that bullshit. No, but here's what worried me the most about that Mars mission, is that like technology keeps advancing like really rapidly. So let's say they put you on that spaceship and send you into space, and then like 2 months into your journey, some guy on Earth invents a much faster way to get to Mars. And you're just stuck on the slowest spaceship in the universe while tourists fly back and forth past you. Like, you can probably see them out the window, and by that point you've gone crazy and eaten 2 of your friends. And then by the time you get to Mars, it isn't even nice anymore. There's just people everywhere. They're like, "Oh, you should have been here earlier. It was beautiful. It's all polluted now. There were aliens, but we hunted them to extinction." If you wait in line over there, you can get an autograph from Steve, the first man to ever set foot on Mars, after a harrowing 3-hour journey. Y'all know Steve, he was in the gay joke earlier. Now he's the first man on Mars. I also saw on the news, they said that because people from all over the world were signing up for this Mars mission, there were Islamic leaders in the Middle East who heard about it, and they decided that leaving the Earth forever is against the Islamic faith. So they're warning Muslims not to travel to Mars. Which ironically makes Mars the safest place to travel. I know, that joke makes some people uncomfortable because it's not politically correct. It's just actually correct. I hate political correctness. Like, it's just a way for people to get outraged over fake controversies. Like, has anyone else noticed that Native Americans did not care that the Redskins were named after them back when the Redskins were good? Like, when I was growing up, the Redskins made it to 4 Super Bowls in 10 years and no one cared about the name. And then last season they were 3-13, and Native Americans were like, whoa, 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 get our face off up there. I'm sorry, I know Indians don't go, whoa, whoa, whoa. But political correctness, I hate it because I also like sometimes I don't know like what side I'm supposed to take. Like this is true. You guys all know who Stephen Hawking is, the astrophysicist in the wheelchair. I was talking about him with a friend at work the other day, and he goes, "Oh, I don't like him. He's a known anti-Semite." I don't know if you guys heard this before. I had never heard this before, but I looked it up, and this is true. A lot of people think some things that Stephen Hawking has said are anti-Semitic. So now I don't know which disenfranchised group I'm supposed to side with, like Jewish people or disabled people. Because don't get me wrong, it's horrible if Stephen Hawking is an anti-Semite. But it's great that he overcame incredible odds to become an anti-Semite. I'm about the farthest thing from an Obama speech right now. In case anybody was wondering about that. I have a friend who's been trying to convince me to adopt a dog. She says I should get one from a shelter, which I've heard is a good thing to do, but I was worried that I wouldn't get to pick what breed I wanted. So then I went to the shelter, and it turns out there's actually lots of breeds that you can pick from. You can get like a Husky Pit Bull mix, or a Golden Retriever Pit Bull mix, or Chihuahua Pit Bull mix. And if you're not a dog person, they have kittens and parakeets that are Pit Bull mix. Not that there's anything wrong with pit bulls. I mean, my neighbor has one, and it's become like part of his family. Like he even has one of those little stick figure families on his car, and he added a little pit bull, and then 2 days later he scratched off the baby. Some people try to defend pit bulls. They say, oh, they're not so bad, they just have a bad reputation. But then every time I turn on the TV, a pit bull is doing something horrible. It's always like pit bull bites toddler, or pit bull attacks jogger, or here's pit bull's new song, Fireball. I had dinner at TGI Fridays the other night. You guys go to TGI Fridays? I'll tell you what I like to do when I go there, and you guys can try this. I like to call up and make reservations for a Friday. And then I just show up on Tuesday and insist that in here it's always Friday. And no matter how annoyed they get, they still have to seat you. You don't need reservations at TGI. I was at a bar the other night and a cougar tried to pick me up, which isn't really my thing, but luckily I learned about cougar attacks in Boy Scouts. So I blew my whistle and made myself look as big as possible. That's what you do in a cougar attack, guys. But she still insisted on getting my number, and then she sent me a text message with one of those winking emoticons, which kind of concerned me because at her age this could indicate a stroke. Some sort of palsy. I think, like, regardless of whether you're like a guy or a girl or gay or straight, I think we can all agree that like women's bodies are more attractive than like men's bodies. Like, if you don't believe that, like, just look at like the sexiest outfits that people can wear. Like, the sexiest thing a woman can wear is lingerie, which is basically nothing at all. The sexiest thing a man can wear is a three-piece suit. Just layers of clothing covering this horrible body. And then just to be safe, it's literally tied around his neck to make sure it doesn't fall off. Are there any wrestling fans in the audience tonight? I don't know if you guys heard about this. Did you guys hear a couple weeks ago there was a pro wrestler who accidentally killed someone in a wrestling ring? He killed a Mexican wrestler. This is true. It was like some former pro wrestler. And one of my friends who's into pro wrestling tried to use that as evidence that wrestling isn't fake. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, someone died on the set of The Crow. It doesn't mean it was real. Like, just like wrestling, it was a guy in a tight suit and makeup playing make-believe. I do like traveling. I went to Germany 2 years ago. I went all over Europe, and I like to take like pictures when I travel. And there was this sign that I saw in a store in Germany that I thought was funny, because sometimes like you'll see signs in like the English translation is like funny. There's this German store, and it just the German word was DILDOKING. And so I took a picture of that, and I was laughing about this. I was like, I have to find out what this really is. So I went and I opened it. It was Dildo King. It was just dildo. There was nothing lost in translation. I got in an argument with a homeless person the other day. I'm not proud, but this guy didn't even ask me for change. I was just walking, and he was sitting on the sidewalk, and he goes, "Hey buddy, you got the time?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." And I kept walking, and he goes, "What do you mean, asshole? You're wearing a watch." And I turned around, and I was like, "No, I'm not an asshole. My watch battery is dead, so honestly I don't know what time it is." And he goes, "Well, why are you wearing it then?" And I said, "Because I don't need the watch to tell time. There's clocks everywhere. The watch is just an expensive status symbol to show that I have more money than people like..." You're right, I'm an asshole. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I work for Ellen and they use me on air sometimes. And I've only ever been recognized in public once, but it really let me know like where I fall on the fame scale. Because see, I was out at this bar and this girl comes up to me and she goes, "I think I know you from somewhere." And I go, "No, I don't think we've ever met before." And she goes, "No, I recognize you. I got to figure out where I know you from." And I was like, "Well, I'm from Pennsylvania. I've lived in New York. Maybe we met there." And she goes, "No." And finally I go, "Oh, do you watch the Ellen DeGeneres show?" And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I love Ellen. I've seen you on there. Can I get a picture with you?" So I said, "Sure." And she stood next to me and handed me her phone. And I reached out to take like a selfie and nothing happened. And I said, "Oh, it says your memory is full. You'll have to delete a picture to make room." And she takes her phone and she goes, nah. Alright, thanks a lot guys.